Hey guys, this is Nifra. Today we'll be looking at another one of Tooler's add-ons, OmniCC. Now, don't worry, this video won't be as long as the Power Earth one, because this mod is, well, pretty basic, but definitely another one I can't live without, along with Bagnon. This will be more like a review than a guide really, but here we go. Of course, you can get this add-on from pretty much any add-on sites out there, may it be Curse or WoWinterface.com, etc. You can find all the links in the info box. Thankfully, you're pretty much good to go once you load it, but if you're like me and like to match it to your UI and tastes, you can easily customize it as well. Although, surprisingly compared to most add-ons, OmniCC looks pretty damn good out of the box. First and foremost, what is OmniCC exactly? Some crowd control watch thing? Nope. Basically, it adds number timers to your spell and items cooldown, instead of like the analog in-game cooldown. The in-game one is just kind of hard to read, and when you got many spells on your bar, some may think, I don't have trouble. But really, once you get it, you never go back. This would be without the add-on. Ew. And with OmniCC, nom nom, I support any sort of visual / audio aid. So now that we have a better idea what it does, let's go in the config panel. Enable cooldown text. Of course we want this on. Automatically scale text to fit within frames. Usually good to leave that on, unless you want to make the cooldowns a different size. Show cooldown models. This will leave the default UI spiral cooldown. Personally, I kept it on. Default is on as well. Finish effect. Self-explanatory. You can make it pulse, shine, or do absolutely nothing. I like the pulse effect best, which also happens to be the default setting. Minimum size to display text. As the tooltip says, this determines how big a frame must be to display text. In other words, if you want to make it so that only your action bar has the OmniCC cooldown, and not your debuffs on a target, for an example. Minimum duration to display text. It's up to you if you want to use this setting. It's also self-explanatory. For an example, if you set a max to 5 minutes, you won't see the OmniCC cooldown on your Hearthstone or Elementals, etc. Minimum duration to display tenths of seconds. Pretty straightforward, eh? Minimum duration to display text as minutes and seconds. And we have minimum duration to display a finish effect. So if you set it to 5 seconds, anything that has a cooldown lower than 5 seconds will not do the pulse animation, or whatever you have set it to. Next tab, textiles. This goes into deeper customization, specifically for your text, of course. You can change the font. You can even get shared media and shared media additional fonts to add more fonts and textures for your add-ons. Color and scale. These are the default settings, but you can pick pretty much any existing colors instead. Red usually helps getting your attention since the color generally means warning. Base font size. The larger the number, the bigger the font will be. Font outline. None, thin, or thick. This affects the black outline of the font. I find thin the easiest to read. Third tab, text position. This is a complete new feature since one of the latest releases, since 4.0. You can choose where the cooldown text is. For an example, if you don't want the CD to hide the skill icon too much, you can position it on the top. Same as default, I kept mine in the middle still. More specifically, you can also change the X and Y offsets manually. One thing that I don't like about the customization panel is that there isn't any preview or test options, so you're gonna need to part by a training dummy to cast spells in order to see the changes, I mean. In order to access the Rules tab, you'll need to create a profile and a group first. Tooler's site has a good guide straight on the homepage. The link's in the info box. Basically, this more advanced option lets you create like a blacklist. For an example, if you don't want the cooldown text to show on, say, a specific action bar, well, you can do that. But first, you'll have to know what that bar is called. Type in /framestack. I suggest doing this when you have no add-ons loaded so they don't interfere when you're trying to blacklist something from the default UI. Mouse over the bar or element you want to blacklist and it'll tell you what it is in that frame. /framestack to close that panel. Obviously, I haven't looked in it too much myself since I don't use that last tab, but really I suggest going to Tooler's site for a more in-depth explanation. Anyways, that pretty much wraps it up. I definitely recommend this add-on for any classes. Till next time, good luck in the leveling race this week. Sandy, don't put your paw in my juice.